Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending upon when you're watching this video. My name is Dr. Shannon DeClute, and this is your introduction video to your online course, Abnormal Psychology, for summer of 2015. Okay, so what's the point of this video? Basically what I'm going to do is introduce you to the class a little bit, point out a few things online that I want to make sure that you're aware of. Also introduce myself so that you are kind of aware of sort of who the puppet master is behind the strings, because this class is entirely online, so there are no face-to-face meetings, there are no times when you have to be logged in for the class or anything like that. It is entirely sort of student-paced, so you can kind of do things at your own pace as long as you don't fall behind, but I'll get to that. Okay, so let me first start off by saying, what is abnormal psychology? So if you are not aware of what abnormal psychology is, it is the branch of psychology that focuses mostly on mental illness. So when people think of psychology, they often think of abnormal psychology. They think of people who have a mental illness of some kind and need some kind of treatment, and that's sort of what abnormal psychology is all about. This class in particular will focus on the diagnosis of mental illness. So you'll learn a lot about how we diagnose things and some of the components that are a part of that. But we'll also talk a little bit about etiology, which is the causes of mental illness, and there are as many causes as there are colors in the rainbow, probably. We'll also talk a little bit about prognosis. Prognosis is about the factors that go into the course of an illness. So why is it that some people will get depression and recover after a few months and never have it again, whereas other people will get depression over and over again, and it may take more than a few months to recover. So that's what prognosis is all about. And then we will talk a little bit about treatment, although if you want to talk more about treatment, there's other courses that are offered here in the psychology department to take. So that's basically abnormal psychology and the field of it. Who am I? Okay, tell you a little bit about myself. So again, my name is Dr. Shannon DeClute. Most of my students call me Dr. D. Although I will also answer to Shannon if you so desire, but Dr. D seems to be the reigning thing that people call me. I have a degree in counseling psychology. Before coming to Morningside, I worked in the field, did a little bit of private practice, did a little bit of work with forensic psychology, which is where you, which is psychology in the law. So I did a little bit of work for the legal system, doing tests for juvenile delinquents, doing tests for custody cases, psychological evaluations, things like that. I also worked for the government and did testing for them. So people that want to get on Social Security or disability, I would do intelligence testing or personality testing related to their issues there. I've also worked in clinical practice. So I've treated adults, I've done some adolescent treatments, I've worked at college counseling centers, I've worked in residential drug and alcohol treatment centers. So I've done sort of a lot of different things in my time before coming to Morningside. And so when I think about teaching this class, I really pull from all the experiences that I've had in order to try to give you a well-rounded picture of sort of what abnormal psychology is. I have been at Morningside now for 3 years, but I know Morningside very well because I was a student here prior to that. So not only am I a faculty member, but I understand that student perspective because I was in your place not that long ago. Every year it gets a little bit longer, but I kind of understand how Morningside itself, the culture of Morningside in that sense. So that's a little bit about who I am. I have taught abnormal psychology all 3 years that I've been here, and I've taught an online version of abnormal psychology every summer, so 2 summers so far. So this is the 3rd time I've taught an online version. And it seems to get better and better each time. So the way I've structured this course is based upon my previous experience teaching an online course, so hopefully that will be beneficial to you. All right, let's talk a little bit about the course. This is an 8-week course. Starts June 8th, and it ends on July, make sure I get the day right, July 31st. So it's exactly 8 weeks long. And here's the thing. This is basically usually a 16-week course that we teach in a semester. And I have had to take all the content of a 16-week course and cram it into an 8-week online course. Because it's still 4 credits long, so it's still the exact same amount of content. The activities I changed up a little bit because it is only an 8-week class. But you're still expected to learn everything you would be expected to learn in a semester, but you have to do it twice as fast. And so this is my disclaimer. I've discovered that oftentimes students will take summer classes, particularly online classes, because they think they will have all the time in the world in the summertime. Everything seems to be easier in the summertime. And it's just an online class, so it will be fine. Those are the students that run into problems. In order to take a 300 level online 8-week course, you have to be very disciplined. You have to plan out time in your schedule that you're going to sit down to read the textbook and to go over the assignments and to study for the exams just like you would do in a regular semester. If you do not plan specific time in your schedule to do that, I guarantee you are likely to fall behind and not succeed in this course. So that's sort of rule number one. Give yourself time for this course. I actually recommend, since it's a 4-credit class, 4 hours each week per credit hour. So that means 16 hours within your week should be devoted to some component of abnormal psychology. So I suggest right now you look at your schedule and go, okay, block off some time. Tuesdays from 3 to 7, I'm going to work on it, or whatever you're going to do. Plot out some time right now to work on this course, and that will help you be successful for sure. The second thing that you need to do to become successful is to familiarize yourself with all of the resources. Because it's an online course, you're not going to see me on a regular basis reminding you of things that are due or reminding you where to go to find those resources. So you are responsible to do that. Some students handle this responsibility really well, other students don't. So let's talk a little bit about some of the resources. We'll start off with the textbook. This is the textbook that we use, Bedell, Vidocq, and Stanley, Abnormal Psychology. This is the 3rd edition. You have to make sure you get the 3rd edition. Why do you have to get the 3rd edition? Well, because the manual that we use to diagnose people, it's called the DSM. We are now in the 5th revision of the DSM, and that just came out in 2013. The 3rd edition of our textbook has the new DSM-5 information in it. Previous editions do not. So if you have a previous edition, it is not going to work. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. In this case, it really does. So make sure you have the 3rd edition. You can either get the textbook or you can get the ebook. The bookstore, I believe, carries the ebook, which is much cheaper, frankly, and I don't care how you want to do it. But whether you get the textbook or the ebook, you also have to make sure you get access to this little thing right here. This is my psych lab. If you took general psych here in Morningside, then you would be familiar with this because we often use my psych lab connected in our Gen Psych courses. So you might have been familiar with this, you might be reminding it as you look at it. But this is the course, or this is the online version that's connected to the Abnormal Psychology one. I do not use the My Psych Lab during the semester because I don't think that it's beneficial when you get to see me 3 times a week. When you don't get to see me 3 times a week, i.e. the online version, this is very helpful. So if you already have the textbook, you bought it off of a friend, or you happen to have it for whatever reason, make sure that you then get the access code, and I'll show you where you can find information about that. Get the access code so that you can then get an account for My Psych Lab. I think separately it's like $40 or something like that. If you go to the Morningside bookstore, it's a bundle. You get the ebook and the access code together. So there's an advantage for using our bookstore. Okay, once you get the access code, you will be entered into My Psych Lab. I'll see that you've signed up and you're on my roster. Then I recommend using these things here, these getting started, tuning up your browser, syncing in your time zone, and viewing any quick guides. I have found that if students do this first, all these problems that seem to occur whenever you're using an online software seem to go away. So make sure you do that. Take a peek at some of the menu things over here. In particular, the things that you will need to use here are the chapter exams, which are what I call quizzes in my class. All the quizzes are located in My Psych Lab. And also this thing called virtual case studies. You have to do 2 virtual case studies in this course. They are each worth 25 points, and they are only located on My Psych Lab. So it's not like you're going to buy it and then never use it. All the quizzes come from here, and the virtual case studies come from here. Okay, you also need to familiarize yourself with our Moodle page. All of you should be connected to the Moodle page if you are on the roster. So it should open up and look like something like this. It's a nice little introduction. I will then, anytime I need to email information or make announcements, I use this news forum. If you have lost an email that I sent you, you can always go back to the news forum to get it, so it's really handy. The syllabus is right here. Your syllabus is your guide for the course. Make sure you familiarize yourself with it. Both of the calendars are here. I have a calendar for June and a calendar for July. You will notice that this course is divided up into 4 different units. And since it's 8 weeks, that means we do 1 unit every 2 weeks. What that means is you basically have a unit exam, which is going to be between 3 and 4 chapters every 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. So look at the calendars. One helpful thing for the calendar too is everything's set in stone. Like there's not going to be any changes. So if there's a week that you're going to take vacation, then it's probably a good idea to kind of work ahead and get all that stuff done. You can always work ahead in this class. So if you're really motivated, you could finish this class by June, by the end of June, and just get everything knocked out. I think it's going to be unlikely that you'll do that, but you could. So you can work ahead all you want to, but don't fall behind. Okay? Everything in this class is due on Wednesdays or Sundays. Do not fall behind because it will be very difficult for you to then catch up. So your calendars are here. You want to make sure to take a look at that. Here's the handout to get registered for the MyPsycLab that I already showed you. And you all have access to this already, so take a peek at that. It tells you how to use your access code if you've purchased it from the bookstore, or how to get an access code and buy it separately online if you already have your textbook. This is also the user guide that I've downloaded, so it's very helpful. So if you have problems with MyPsycLab, use this first before you email me or ask questions, because this is going to be really, really handy. Then there's also, you will do 1 research paper in this class, but it will be divided into 7 different parts. This explains all the different parts. So this is something that's different from this year. I'm trying it out this summer. I think it'll be helpful. Then the middle page is divided by week. So here's your first week. On this middle page is everything that you should be doing for that week. So you'll notice that there's a course prep checklist that you should do, and there's actually a quiz that you have to get done. That quiz you must get done by Wednesday. You must get a 100% on that quiz. But you can take that quiz as many times as you want until you get that 100%. What that quiz, the point of that quiz is to make sure that you understand the course policies and procedures. Trust me, the more you understand how this class functions, the easier it's going to be for the next 8 weeks. Then you have an assignment that's also due on Wednesday. Here it is, and here's the drawback for that assignment. Then for every chapter, I have created a study guide for you. So you can download that. It has some questions to guide your reading. It has some resources that I recommend that are on MyPsycLab. And then it has reminders of any assignments or forms that you need to do to complete for that chapter. And then I have also recorded a little mini lecture for each chapter. Those mini lectures I recorded last year. So one thing you'll notice as you click into them is that I'm a little bit bigger than I am right now. Last summer I happened to be about 8 or 9 weeks pregnant, depending upon when the video was shot. So all of these videos are based upon me being pregnant. I am not pregnant this summer, so there should not be any issues in terms of me having to leave the course. But I thought I would mention it just in case you look at it and go, wow, Dr. DeClue's pregnant. No, she was pregnant last summer. The videos are just from last summer. Okay, then you will also see anytime we have a progressive paper assignment that is located on the week that it's due. So you'll see that you have assignment number 1 is due that first week. And then it goes to the next week. So June 15th through the 21st is week 2. Everything you need for week 2 is under that head. Sometimes we will have these things called forums. These are videos primarily, sometimes readings, that I want you to look at. And then there's some discussion questions that you then have to post your answers to. So anytime we have a forum, make sure you complete those. Those are all going to be located here on Moodle. So you can see I have the first 2 weeks completely ready to go. I will be making the other weeks available as I go. I still have to go in and make sure the due dates are correct and add a few other assignments since I changed some things. So Moodle for at least the first 2 weeks are ready to go. A couple of other things. I am going to be on vacation. Yep, I get to take vacations too. Starting June 10th, which is the first day that things are due, I know, and through June 15th, so next Wednesday through the Monday. I will be in Arkansas, and the location I'm going to be in Arkansas has very limited access to the internet or to email. So I will do my best to respond to you as quickly as I can during those dates. but be advised that I will have limited access to it. So if you have questions or concerns, make sure you get them to me before June 10th. So right away, if you know that you've got some issue, make sure you start talking to me so we can get them resolved before I leave. In general, when you email me, I will endeavor to check my email twice a day, okay? So my brain is not connected to the internet. This is my summer vacation too. I want to spend it with my family. So I'm not going to be emailing you back instantly. I will, however, check my email twice a day. Once in the morning, usually around 9 a.m., and once in the early evening, usually around 4 p.m. So I will make sure that I check my email around those 2 times, and any email that you have sent me, I will respond to at that point in time. Even if the response is, hey, I'm not sure, let me get back to you, I'll let you know that I at least received your email. Okay, so now you've watched this video, you will then have to click on the forum and introduce yourself to the class, not through a video, you can do it via typing, and also ask me any questions about the class that you have, and then I will go ahead and respond to you. So make sure you complete that. If you have personal concerns, things that you want to let me know personally, then just make sure that you send me a personal email. Do not post them on the forum because all the class will be able to see it. Okay, oh, I think that's everything. The last thing that I want to point out is that there are these little check boxes on the side. They are there for your use only, so if you want to keep track of where you are, then as you finish an assignment, you can go ahead and click on it, and it will put a little check there. That check will be saved for you. So sometimes that's handy so that you can say, okay, look at what I've got done. All right, I think that's everything I wanted to sort of introduce for the course. I'm sure that this video is long enough as it is. So if you do have questions, make sure you post them on the forum, or if it's a personal issue, make sure you email me personally. Where can you find my email? On the syllabus, which you should be looking at already. Okay, I think that's it. So welcome to Abnormal Psychology, Summer 2015, the online version. And I hope that you have a great summer and you learn lots.